Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the horticultural aesthetics in India. So what do you mean by horticultural? Horticulture is a branch of agriculture science which deals the study of fruits, vegetables, flowers, ornamental plants, medicinal and aromatic plants, plantation crops, and their post-harvest management is known as horticulture. So, in horticulture, various branches, different disciplines, pomology that study for fruits, olericulture, study of vegetables, floriculture, flower crops, as well as ornamental plants, medicinal and aromatic plants, plantation crops, spices crops, and their post harvest management. So these are the horticultural. So we can say the just I gave the various disciplines in horticulture. So in case of the fruits like apple, banana, mango, guava, citrus, strawberry, grapes, pomegranate, sapota, lychee, etc. In case of the vegetables, tomato, chili, brinjal, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, fruit, the onion, garlic, potato, carrot, radish, etc. Flowers like roses, chrysanthemum, tuberose, marigold, etc. So we can see the what is the status. So what is the statistics in India? How much area, how much production, what is the productivity, which crop is leading crop, so all these things. So in horticulture in India, India is endowed with a remarkably heterogeneous, heterogeneous area characterized by a great diversity of agroclimatic zones. Great diversity of agroclimatic zones. So we can see the India has diversity of agroclimatics. So what is the benefit? We can grow the variety of crops in India. So great diversity of agroclimatic zones allowing for production of variety of horticultural crops such as fruits. So in fruits, temperate fruits, tropical fruits and subtropical fruits. Vegetables, warm season vegetables, cool season vegetables, indigenous vegetables, exotic vegetables, flowers, spices, plantation crops, roots and tuber crops, and medicinal and aromatic plants, and also va- various other crops. So, no doubt, India is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world. So, India ranks second position next to China in fruits and vegetables. So, horticulture export has helped the country to earn 14,000 Indian rupees, 14,000 crores Indian rupees in 2013 14. 14,000 crores Indian rupees. So, in snapshot of horticulture, horticulture accounts for 30% of India's agricultural GDP from 8.5% of the crop area. So we can see the total. Indian agricultural GDP, out of agricultural GDP, horticulture accounts around 30%. So that is the, we can say the, from 8.5% of the cropped area. So in this one is the major crops. India's major exports include onion, mango pulp, fresh mangoes, dried walnuts, and fresh grapes. Then India's biggest export markets are South Asian countries and Middle East countries. So India's share in the global market is insignificant. It accounts for 1.7% of the global trade in vegetables, fruits. Then production share of horticultural crops. So in this one, already I told you different disciplines in horticulture. So we can say the, if we will talk for the horticultural crops, so what are the share of these? Then maximum share is for vegetables, that is 60.76%. So maximum share for vegetables, that is the 60.76%. Then number two is for fruit crops. So that is 29.70%. After that, on number third, plantation crops, that is 6.36%. So in plantation crops like cashew, coffee, tea, coconuts, these crops are plantation crops, also areca nut. Then spices, so in spices 2.31%. Then flowers 0.64%. Aromatic plants is very low, that is 0.22%. So these are the share of horticultural crops in horticultural statistics in India. Then in fruits and vegetables, botanical and popular. So botanically, a fruit is the ripened ovariva. So after fertilization, the ovary is mature. So the ovary wall turns in fruits and ovules turns in seeds. So that's why botanically a fruit is the ripened ovary wall. So the ovary is part of the carpel, the innermost wall of a flower, the female reproductive structure. So the ovary contains the ovules, the haploid equivalent to mammalian eggs. Some fruits also contain parts of the flower base. A good example is apple, because in that the other than ovary, the thalamus part is also in that. So that's why apple fruit is not a true fruit, that is considered as false fruit because other than the reproductive structure, the accessory organs also involved in conversion of the fruits. So botanically, fruits can be classified as fleshy, dry dehiscent, and dry indehiscent. So most of what are popularly called fruits are fleshy fruits. So the generally understood common definition of a fruit is sweet and aromatic. Fleshy plant products, fleshy plant products that are mainly eaten as dessert or a first course in a meal and not as the main meal. Thus, many fleshy fruits, in a botanical sense, such as tomato and cucumber, are considered vegetables in popular culture. So, tomato and cucumber are considered as fruit vegetables. So, they are considered vegetables in popular culture. So, botanically, these are the fruits, but these are the vegetable fruits. So, in botany, a vegetable is simply part, any plant or plant part. So we can say the in vegetables like carrot and radish, these are the root vegetables. Asparagus, potato, these are the stem vegetables, modified stems. Tomato, brinjal, chili, cucumber, okra, bottle gourd, ridge gourd, bitter gourd, these are the fruit vegetables. Broccoli, cauliflower, these are the flower vegetables, inflorescence. In case of the leafy vegetables like spinach, amaranthus, cabbage, etc. So any plant part we can use in vegetables, but in case of the fruits, it's only fruits that occurs after fertilization. So in the common definition, vegetables are plant products eaten with the main course. In taste, they are salty or sour or soury, but not sweet. Some vegetables are botanically fruits like tomatoes, cucumber, etc. And other plants, stems, leaves, roots, etc. Classification of fruits. So, depending upon physical characteristics, fruits are classified as berries. Good examples are blackberries, cranberries, blueberries, gooseberries, strawberries, grapes, and also the guava, that is also berry, bananas, and citrus fruits. We can say the hesperidium, that is oranges, grapefruit, limes, lemons, etc. And drupes, cherries, peaches, apricot, plums, prunes, nectarines, mango, coconut, these are the drupe fruits. Or melons like watermelon, cassava, muskmelon, Persian, honeydews, etc. And palm fruits, apples, pears, quince, etc. Tropical fruits, papaya, mangoes, pomegranate, pineapples, etc. Then in another classification, earth vegetable roots, sweet potatoes, carrots, radish, etc. Modified stem tubers, potatoes, knolkole, etc. Modified buds tubers, onions, garlics. Herbage vegetables like leaves, cabbage, spinach, lettuce, amaranthus, etc. Petioles, leaf stalk, celery, rhubarb, etc. Flower buds, cauliflower, broccoli, sprout shoots, young stems, asparagus, bamboo shoots, etc. Fruit vegetables in legumes, peas, Dolichos lablab, green beans, etc. Cereals, sweet corn. Wine fruits like cucumber, bottle gourd, bitter gourd, etc. Berry fruits, tomatoes. So, in terms of the nutritional facts, so no doubt fruits and vegetables are considered as protective food because they are very rich in proteins, vitamins, minerals, etc. Even the carbohydrates. So in banana, 24% carbohydrate, 1.3% protein, 0.4% fat, S 0.8%, and water 73.5%. So these contents also we can see the vitamins and minerals and various other beneficial elements too. So horticulture aesthetics, why required? And what is the present status? And what are the constraints? And way forward? Horticulture data, why required? To make correct assessment of growth in the horticulture sector. So horticulture data is required for making the correct assessment of growth in horticulture sector. So for example, in case of the fruits, that is the growing in positive manner or negative. Same thing in vegetables, spices, etc. And also we can find out the exact information of particular fruits, for example, mango, banana, etc. So in terms of the production is increasing or decreasing, area is same, area increased or decreased, etc. And also to ensure effective monitoring and evaluation of the concerned development policies and program. So based on the data, we can make the policies and programs. So for effective monitoring and evaluation, horticulture data plays very important role to facilitate prospective planning and har- harnessing vast potential in horticulture sector and to analyze data to gain better knowledge and understanding of the situation for taking appropriate measures to promote systematic development of horticulture sector. So based on the data analysis, we can find out the exact information. So all these are important to gain the better knowledge and understanding of the situation. So based on that, we can make the policies, programs, etc. And present status of horticulture data, that is multiple agencies involved in collection and compilation of data. So in this one is the Department of Agriculture and Cooperation through state horticulture departments and state directorates of economics and statistics through crop estimation, survey fruits and vegetables, then export and import data, DGCIS, APEDA or DGFT, and crop boards like Cashew Nut Development Board, Coconut Development Board, and Spices Board of India, etc. Market intelligence data through National Horticulture Board and Directorate of Marketing Inspections in Ministry of Agriculture, and research and other organization, for example, NHRDF or SFAC, facts and figures. So status of fruits and vegetables. India's diverse climate ensures availability of all varieties of fresh fruits and vegetables. Because India has the diversity in agroclimates, and also in terms of the climatic conditions, the north part is the temperate, southern part is tropical, and central part is the subtropical. And in northeast, the tropical, or we can say the humid tropics. So we can see the almost all type climatic conditions we have. So we can grow the all types of fruits and vegetables in India. So other than the climate, diverse climatic conditions, we also have the diversity in soils. So we are fortunate in this manner. It ranks second in fruits and vegetable production in the world, next to China. And according to National Horticulture Board during 2011-12, India produced 77 million metric tons of fruits and 156.33 million metric tons of vegetables. So area under cultivation of fruits stood at 7.704 million hectares, while vegetables were cultivated at 8.99 million hectares. So India is the largest producer of ginger and okra among vegetables. So we can see the among all vegetable crops, India is leading producer, or we can say the largest producer of ginger and okra. And on second rank, India in production potatoes, cauliflower and brinjal and cabbage on second position. Or among fruits, the country ranks first in production of bananas, papayas, mangoes, and guavas. So comparison of yields in selected commodities in metric tons per hectare. So you can say in rice, paddy, wheat, maize, cotton, and major oil seeds, India is too far. We can say the in wheat on fifth position, rice and paddies sixth position, and in case of the maize on seventh position, and we can say the but in fruits and vegetable production, India ranks on second position. So trends in fruits and vegetable production. So here blue graph, line graph is for vegetables and red one is the for fruits. So in case of the fruits from 2001 to 2011-12, you can see the fruit graph is growing continuously, almost in straight line. But in case of the vegetables, you can see the zigzag. So growth rate of vegetables is more than fruits. Share of fruits produced in India in 2012-13. So banana number one with 39.8%. Then on second number is mango 20 with 20.3%. Then citrus 10.0%. Papaya fourth with 5.6%. Then apple 3.9%. Guava 3.3%. Pineapple 1.9%. Sapota 1.9%. Grapes 1.6%. And pomegranate 1%, and we can see this 10%. In vegetables, maximum share is for potato, that is 28.9%. Then number two, tomatoes 11.3%. Third number, onion 10.3%. Then brinjal 8.1%. Tapioca 5.5%. Cabbage 5.4%. Cauliflower 4.6%. Okra 3.9%. Peach 2.4%. Sweet potato 0.7%, and others 18.8%. So in terms of the export during 2012-13, India exported fruits and vegetables and worth 5,986.72 crores Indian rupees, which comprised of fruits worth 2,503.75 crores Indian rupees and vegetables worth 3,482.97 crores Indian rupees. So, among that, mangoes, walnuts, grapes, bananas, pomegranates account for larger portion of fruits exported from the our country, while in terms of the vegetables, onions, okra, green chilies, mushrooms, mushrooms contribute largely to the vegetable export basket. So the major destinations of Indian fruits and vegetables are United Arab Emirates, Bangladesh, Malaysia, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. Or in terms of the processed foods, plays important role fruits and vegetables. So in food processing sector is one of the largest sector in India in terms of the production, growth, consumption, and export. So India's food processing sector covers fruits and vegetables, spices, meat and poultry, milk and milk products, alcoholic beverages, fisheries, plantation, grain processing, and other consumer products like confectionery. So, facts about food processing in India. India's food processing sector ranks fifth position in the world in terms of the export, production, and consumption. So, we can say in food processing sector, we are too far. We ranks on fifth position in exports, production, and consumption. So we have the lot of potential in this sector. And major parts of the food processing sector are milled grain, sugar, edible oils, beverages, and dairy products. Then the contribution of the food processing industry to the gross domestic product at 2004 5 prices in 2012-13 and amounts to Indian rupees 845.22 billion Indian rupees. India's food processing industry has grown annually at 8.4% for the last 5 years up to 2012-13, and the value addition of the food processing sector as a share of GDP manufacturing was 9.8% in 2012-13. Investment in registered food processing sector had grown by 20.1% at the end of 2012. So the number of registered processing factories has increased from 35,838 in 2010-11 to 36,881 in 2011-12. So making a growth rate of 2.9%. And the industry is also one of the largest employment creators. So we can say in food processing industry, that is the largest employment generator. So with growth in the direct employment in the organized food processing sector standing at 6.05% between 2010-11 and 2011-12, food is the biggest expense for an urban Indian household. About 38.6% of the total consumption expenditure of households was spent on food in 2011-12. So the total household expenditure on the purchase of food items in 2012-13 was 11 trillion Indian rupees. So an average household in India spent 41,856 Indian rupees on food. Sector policy. So in sector policy, National Food Processing Policy aims to increase the level of food processing from 10% in 2010. So that was, or that will be 25% in 2025. So food processing is recognized as a priority sector in the new manufacturing policy of 2011. Then the National Mission on Food Processing and the Ministry of Food Processing Industries have launched a new centrally sponsored scheme in April 2012 for implementation through state and union territory governments. So the basic objective of the National Mission on Food Processing is decentralization of the implementation of food processing related schemes for ensuring substantial participation of state and union territory governments. India's exports of processed food. So India's export of processed food was 38,150.86 crores Indian rupees in 2013-14, which includes the share of products mango pulp 608.56 crores, dried and preserved vegetables that was 637.96 crores, other processed fruits and vegetables 1,733.06 crores, pulses 1,285 crores, groundnuts 4,065.36 crores, guar gum 21,287.01 crores, jaggery or confectionery 917.60 crores, Alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages and 909.37 crores. Make in India, so we can see the around 192 million hectares of gross crop area in India. So out of that, 89.9 million hectares of net irrigated area and overall 127 agroclimatic zones in India, 42 mega food parks being set up with an allocated investments of 98 billion Indian rupees. Major foreign investors, Kraft in USA, Mars in USA, Nestle in Switzerland, McCain in Canada, Danone in France, Ferrero in Italy, Del Monte in USA, Kagome in Japan, Kellogg's in USA, Pepsi in USA, Unilever Anglo Dutch, Perfetti in Italy, Cargill USA, Coca-Cola in USA, or Hershey United States of America USA. So major exported products, mango. So India's mango comes in various shapes, sizes, and colors with a wide variety of flavor, aroma, and tastes. So we can say in India, mango is king of fruits and it is very popular. That is available in various shapes, sizes, and colors, and also flavors, aroma, or taste. So a single mango can provide up to 40% of daily dietary fibers, needs a potent protector against heart diseases, cancers, and cholesterol buildup. So mango fruit plays very important roles. So this Lucius fruits is a warehouse of potassium, beta carotene, or antioxidants. Mangoes are mainly grown in tropical and subtropical regions of India as well as the world, and it can grow 1500-meter height from the mean sea level. Mangoes grown best temperature around 27 degrees Celsius. So these are the varieties of mangoes. Area of cultivation. So major growing states are Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Bihar, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. India's fact figures, major export destinations, grapes, Vitis vinifera, that is grown in temperate to warm regions. And this one is also very important crop. So in this one also varieties available, colored, seeded, Bangalore blue, gulabi, etc. Muscat. Colored seedless, beauty seedless, Sarat seedless, etc. White seeded, Anabesai, Dilkhus, that is the clone of Anabesai. White seedless, Perlade, Pusa seedless, Thompson seedless, Sonaka, Manik. Fresh onions, mango pulp. Mango pulp is prepared from the selected varieties of fresh mango fruits, harvested, quickly transported to fruit processing plant, inspected and washed. Selected high quality fruits go to the controlled ripening varieties, Alfonso mango pulp, Totapuri mango pulp, Kesar mango pulp, etc. Suggestions: better seeds can increase the yield by 40%, and also the fertilizers, plant nutrients also plays important role in terms of production and quality. So balanced fertilizer usage is equally critically. Irrigation can also increase the incomes. Credit and land holding are critical from economic point of view. Improve profitability of farmers. Fixed wage rates. Contract farming can raise profitability and promote the use of biofuels. Prepare a prospective plan for treating degraded lands. Thanks.